I'm Christian Abbott.
I'm Nathan Lavender.
I'm Sean Abbott.
And this is the Red Mist Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the Red Mist Podcast, Season 2, Episode 42. The real-time racing Acura TLX GT, number 42, driven by P.D. Cunningham. What do you think of that, Christian?
It's a very good choice.
It's a sexy car. Mm-hmm. That was one of the first...
What about the... Go ahead.
That was one of the...
I was going to say JPM 42.
Well, I'm hosting, so no NASCAR Nate.
Welcome back.
Yeah, so this was a four-wheel drive car. The race in the SRO series. And I believe that's the same year that Eversley won the SRO championship with the car.
Is that right?
Yes, it was. He drove the number 43 car. They're pretty cool cars.
Hey, that's next week, Sean. So,
Yep. Well, maybe we'll have Ryan on the show. Anyways, on tonight's episode, we'll discuss NASCAR at the paperclip and chaos. There was actually chaos in an Xfinity race, which was pretty cool.
oh jeez. I know what you're talking about.
I know. We'll discuss the 4 qualifiers for next weekend's race. So 4 guys get to race for the championship. That's awesome. And the guy who led the points all year is not even in it.
Who's that, Sean?
There you go.
Whoops.
I know. We'll discuss the Mexico Grand Prix. The Gran Premio de Mexico. Mexico.
Yeah.
Someone's home race.
Somebody's home race. And,
Somebody's home race.
you know, nothing really changed.
No.
A continuing trend.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We'll have a little news and notes section, maybe. Mm-hmm. And then we will discuss the 4 hours, the Halloween 4 hours Northeast Karting Challenge. Sorry, I almost screwed that up. Northeast Karting Challenge at Englishtown, New Jersey. We have a special guest, Nick Frangoulis.
Whoa.
Everyone
No.
going.
No? What?
No.
Frangoulis.
Frangoulis. Right?
List.
Go ahead and say it.
Frangoulis.
Frangoulis.
Everyone goes.
There we go. Nick
Yeah,
Frangoulis.
Frangoulis.
Well, it's like
Yes.
someone coming on and saying abate.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if I have
Okay.
Rich Hemingway
fair
on,
enough.
he's going to be
Fair
saying
enough.
abate or abate. He'll
Yeah.
be saying that. He
Yeah.
was giving me grief as I watched the Gran Premio de Mexico with him.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, sorry about that, Nick. You can shoot me.
It's all good.
Anyway, all good. We will discuss you guys podiumed.
Yes.
Congratulations. How many drivers in 4 hours?
4 drivers.
4 of us.
4.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw pictures. It looked like there were 6.
No.
Did you have a support team?
No, those are 2 other
Reserve
friends.
drivers.
2 friends.
Yeah.
Is it-
Mateo and Alec.
Oh, Mateo. Don't they run that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they had the event.
Oh, wait a minute. Did they run the touring?
Yes.
Wait a minute. This wasn't that. Was this theirs?
It is, but they've...
What kind of scam are they
help
running?
with both.
What are they? Anyways, okay. Did you guys use the tent? The pop-up?
Yeah, I use it.
Oh, that's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It was nice.
It was good. It rained, so it helped.
Oh, rain. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely needed that. That was like a wet and wild day.
Yeah.
Wet and wild. That's why I asked you. I texted you to see if you were running because I saw the weather.
Yeah. No.
Anyways,
Rain or shine.
rain or shine. That's good. Did they put rain tires on the carts?
No.
No,
No?
they didn't. Sean, there was slicks.
Oh. I'm sure they were the soft slick.
They had
Option type.
MG Reds on the fronts.
They were the what?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Wow. All right. All right. Let's get into it. Nate,
Yes. The paperclip,
the
baby.
paperclip.
Here we go.
Paperclip.
So I'll tell you what. 2 spots left going into this race.
That's right.
And 6 drivers getting in. Who's going to take it, Sean? I mean, Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell are safely in.
Right.
So now it's the battle of the 2 spots.
Yep.
So right away, Martin Truex got out into the lead. Your homeboy, Martin Truex.
Yep.
New Jersey's own.
Yep,
right?
That's right. How many guys?
But I'll tell you.
Can I ask a question?
What's up?
How many guys? Because I'm like, oh, this thing is whacked. Anyway, sorry. There's no point differential. Never mind. We'll get to that. Anyways, yeah, Truex took the lead.
Your question?
Huh?
Yeah, your question.
Your question?
No, it was just like when we came into this, there were 8 drivers coming into this, right?
Yes, this
Okay.
was the last round of 8.
Round of 8. Right. So in my
6.
world, the only guy that didn't want in was Denny Boo Hamlin.
Yeah, and anyone else? Or
No, because that's the only. No, because.
I'm thinking of that. No,
What?
but I'll tell you, he.
No, because Keselowski
won
got
stage
bombed.
1.
Keselowski got bombed out, right?
Yeah, he was in the
yes,
first
Don't remind
round.
me.
Yeah,
Don't remind me. All right, I know.
So it was really just down to Denny Boo Hamlin. That's in my world.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys all
Right.
have guys you hate, but I mean Logano wasn't in
Ty
it, so
Gibbs,
I was psyched. Ty Gibbs, he wasn't
Yeah.
even close to being in it.
Well, I'm just you asked the drivers.
Oh no, I'm just saying in the 8.
I couldn't name a driver that I
well.
hate in NASCAR because I don't know that many.
Hamlin did hate.
Christian.
Hamlin and Logano are like my, and then followed
Your
by.
favorites.
I just don't care.
It's like Hamlin and Logano were 1-2.
Austin Dillon.
Yeah, then
That's
the Dillon
Sean's
boy.
favorite
Anybody?
driver.
Yeah, the Dillon boys, and then Ty Gibbs.
See, Sean gets it.
Yep, I get it.
Come on, Christian, give it.
I also
give
just
it the ball.
I also just don't care enough. That's just not.
There was a great
You don't
moment.
care
I
about the
will say-
championship four.
I will say
Ugh.
there was a great moment in the race when my new favorite. It's
Who?
it's Carson Hocevar, right? It's Carson.
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
42 car.
yeah. When he
Sean,
hooked-
we could
when
have
he-
used that for the episode.
When he
Oh, my
hooked Ty Gibbs, that was the best.
goodness. Wait,
Is this the
are we
Xfinity
talking
race?
about the same thing? No,
Yes.
the Joey Logano dumped him.
No.
Great.
Earlier in the race, Gibbs got dumped by Carson Hocevar.
Yeah,
He got
I
dumped
think-
twice.
He was just used up the whole race.
Yeah. Good Lord willing, Grandpa Joe didn't come off the stand.
Come up with the football play, right, Sean?
Right, because the other thing was Grandpa Richard was all steamed from the night before. So, anyways, we'll get to that.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, So, I'm gonna just jump to it. Blaney won, so I was excited.
Well, hey. He won stage 2, then he won the race, Sean, okay?
That's
But-
fine.
okay.
And then
But now we got 3 drivers figured out, so who's
Right.
the 4th driver to get in?
the 4th driver was Mr. Perseverance.
Yeah. iRacing Pro himself.
William Byron.
Yes.
He did really well.
He did.
He did.
Did you see his car? The pods?
Yes, it looked good. It looked good in that.
It looked good.
It looked good. So we got Blaney, Christopher Bell, I love it, Larson and Byron for the showdown in the desert. The race itself was fine. It was a good race.
It was a good race. I did enjoy it. There was a moment where Ryan Blaney nearly lost it going into 3 after Denny Hamlin got into
Very
him.
true. Oh yeah, that was kind of crazy. And that was actually
That was an amazing
And I
save.
will say this: I don't think Hamlin meant to do that. Actually,
No. He backed off.
It
He
was
wasn't
just.
trying to get
I think he
into him
just
like
missed.
that.
Like they said, like Junior said, he did misjudge it, and it wasn't Hamlin's fault. I just like the fact that Hamlin just was crying after the race, and he was blaming Logano.
Easiest driver to blame.
There's 2 guys I like to see have a purse fight: Logano and Hamlin. Oh God.
They have before.
I know. Hey, you
That-
know what?
that's
You know what?
very trash.
You know what this was? This was also the anniversary of the greatest moment in NASCAR history. I sent you guys that clip.
Nate, did you get the over under on how many times they made a reference to it?
Did they make a reference to it?
I don't know. I didn't watch the race. No,
Yeah.
I don't know what the.
I don't know. That thing
over-under.
popped
No,
up on my timeline, and I had to send it because I mean that was the best thing ever.
No, but do you know what they made more reference of?
What Tony Stewart
Yeah.
saying he had it coming to him?
No. Yeah. Or Junior saying it.
Well, Junior
But I
said.
jumped him.
Junior said, "I saw that coming from a mile away."
Oh my god, it's just the call I hear in my head. It's Rick
Yeah.
Allen saying, and Kenseth cleared by Lagana, maybe no. Like,
Yeah, and then Joey's
just
Joey's
take them
dad throwing a hissy fit, and then getting banned from
Tom.
and gets
Yeah.
banned from the pits by Penske because we don't need that kind of jack ass hattery going on in our pit.
yeah.
Anyways, so Blaney won. That was cool.
So, yeah.
Blaney's parents
That
were
is,
there. Dave
yeah,
Blaney,
Dave Blaney, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. What is he? Two-time World of Outlaw champion? Right?
pretty much badass on dirt. Yep,
Yeah.
and I think
yeah.
he still runs. I think he still tries to qualify for the Knoxville Nationals.
No
Last one will
kidding.
probably put him in a car, or Rico will,
Yeah.
Rico Brio, he's a badass man.
without a doubt. He finished second to Larson.
Yeah. So, man, it's just asphalt not his thing.
Who
He should just try Xfinity kart. Rico.
didn't he drive
Rico
trucks?
Brio. He did, but didn't really get any results.
It's all right. I don't care. He's still badass on dirt. It's fine
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
I did watch the modified race on Thursday night.
Oh, that must have been good.
It was awesome. The only thing was Ryan. What's your man's name there? Ryan.
Ryan Priest.
Yeah, he was leading, like running away with the first half of the race, and then they had a little about just about halfway they had a little contretemps, and then he went in the pit, and I don't know, something happened there, and he had a NASCAR pit crew doing his pit stops, and they got beat by a couple of the other teams, and then he sort of fell back, and I thought he was out of it, and then he almost got caught up in a crash, but he came back and won. So that was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I mean,
Yes.
I think that Ryan Priest's cup and pretty much all of his history in NASCAR, it really doesn't speak enough volumes for how good he is in the modifieds. He really came out of that series and was dominant for many years.
I think I would agree, but
Yeah.
I think the guys that come out of the Truex came out of the modifieds. Truex. Ryan Newman likes
That's
driving
right,
in
yeah.
modifieds. He's like
Yeah, he does.
he's like the king at New Hampshire with him.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the modifieds, I feel like they're just a completely different animal. I mean, it's closer to an open wheel car
It
in
is.
comparison to
Yeah.
a full body stock car, where to really drive those things, you gotta be super aggressive, and you have to really be on point.
And the other thing is you don't want to hook your wheels.
No.
So so you actually kind of learn how to race closer with guys, and then secondly, I think the way the cars are set up with a stagger, I think helps as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I definitely agree with you that racing close for them is a lot more of an art than in other series, because it's the margin of error is very small.
Yeah, that's why Nate did you when you went to you didn't go see any of the sprint car action, did you? When you went to Indy?
When I went to Indy,
Yeah.
no, I did see some USF 2000 more recently,
Right.
and then the Freedom 100 when it was there.
But Christian and I went to we went to Lucas.
Well, Nate would have went to Lucas Oil as well,
Right.
For
but
Carb Night
but
Classic.
watching the sprint cars and the midgets and then
Well, we missed the midgets.
but no, yeah, but then what ran at Anderson? Was it sprint cars?
Sprints.
Woof.
Oh, I saw some sprint cars at
Those
IRL.
guys are on those short tracks. That's
Yeah.
it's like Nick said. That's
IRP.
you learn how to drive.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think that they were.
They weren't midgets.
At,
They were midgets at Lucas. We missed them.
it was Silver Crowns that were at.
Oh,
Lucas.
Silver
That's-
Crowns,
that's-
and then the other midgets. The other sprint car series was at
Yes.
USAC sprints were at the Silver Crowns.
yeah.
Jesus, talk about a big car.
Yeah.
Holy hell. Nate, those are huge.
Yeah.
Big.
I'd like
Anyways,
to,
but
I'd
but
like
it's
to
like
see 'em in
but
person.
like Nick was saying, like you learn how to drive. I think those guys learn how to drive closer. So when they get to NASCAR, they're used to running on top of like they can run on top of somebody. I mean that's why Larson's so good. Blaney,
Yeah,
Blaney's,
I mean, it's
Blaney's the same way. I mean he ran dirt, but he did not to the extent that his dad did.
No, and I don't think compared to like Christopher Bell or
Yeah,
Allison.
like Bell. Isn't Busher runs midgets, right? I mean, all those guys are
Stenhouse. Right.
and Tyler Reddick ran dirt.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean those those guys know how to like drive the car. So
I mean, you look at the people who race in NASCAR over the years. Like you look at like Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, like great names.
Mario
Like, they all-
Andretti,
Yeah, a lot of different things. Like
they all ran sprint cars.
yeah,
AJ,
Jimmy Johnson raced rally, or, like rally trucks in California. I mean, I feel like racing on dirt, it definitely gives people an edge where like they're a lot more accustomed to racing over the edge.
I think Harvick ran dirt for a bit too.
Maybe, I'm not
Oh,
sure.
Nate's buddy Ricky Stenhouse ran dirt too.
He did, but I mean, I think there's like a difference. Like, you see a lot of these top guys who like came out of those series and like made something
So
of like a career.
could that be the reason Bad Brad doesn't do well?
Listen to this guy.
Brad is like, he's the perfect example of like an engineer-focused like driver, almost like,
Like he overthinks
You
it.
heard that, Sean?
yeah, like
that's it.
he's like a full package. Like he has like a strategy standpoint, he has like a car standpoint. Like he just, analyzes everything on top of
Nick,
the
you're a
driving.
smart guy. You're a smart guy, Nick.
Yeah, and he overanalyzes it. He overthinks it.
Sean. Man, he'll never back down, even though he's, Michigan's own,
Who?
right? Brad.
Oh, I thought you
Brad,
meant
they're
me.
from-
I'm not
he's from
Michigan's
Michigan.
own.
No, not
Oh,
you.
no.
But I mean, for you guys, it's go green, go white, or
Yeah.
whatever. it is.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Spartans.
Yeah.
so-
You got it.
Go
Yeah.
Sparty. Yeah.
I mean, you really look at the like Roush Fenway Racing and Roush Fenway Kozlowski now. Like, in the past 10 years, you never saw them doing anything. And then, like, I'd say in the last 2 years, you really see them picking up the pace a lot. I mean, you have to contribute some of that to a lot of,
How long's Bad Brad been driving for them?
I think, 2 or 3 years. I mean,
Is that as an owner, or didn't he drive for him before?
no, he came
No,
on
no, no.
owner.
Oh,
Just after he left Penske, that was part of the deal. And then basically he started a company that was in charge of like machining parts and doing a lot of different things for RFK. And that's actually what got them into trouble, I think, in Daytona, either this year or the year before that, because their like wheels for the center lock were like
he's a
Nasty.
cheater.
no,
a performance enhancer, Sean.
exactly.
Is that kind of like when you drill out the windshield on your car?
No, it's like when Stuart Haas was pushing the rear windshield down to get
How dare you?
more air on
How
him.
dare you
remember
say
this.
that?
And then guess what? And then the next week after, Harvick won and pointed right at it when he won at Phoenix. That was yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, Harvick's the man too.
I'm surprised Penske hasn't got caught yet. For something.
Yeah.
Probably hasn't asked for it yet.
Huh?
He probably hasn't asked for it.
Do they look at
it
the dampers on those things? Do they have dampers on those? If they
got a
don't,
whole
they probably
division
do.
devoted to it.
If not, they probably do. Anyways, all right. So Blaney with the win. Eric Amarillo, second. And what's going on with Eric? He's not going to be back with Stewart House next year.
Oh, do you want me to say the rumor? Noah Gregson, maybe.
Oh, with
At the,
oh yeah. I hope not. Anyway,
it's a rumor, Sean.
I
He
know.
might be.
Then
He might be joining that Indycar.
Then we had Denny Boo Hamlin third, and he still couldn't get in. So, anyways, Boo, and there you go. He can't. He has in his entire career has not won a Cup championship.
Wait, what is it, Sean? Denny who? Hamlin?
Boo.
Oh,
Boo.
right. Of
Boo.
course.
Like Boo Hoo. And we had Chase Briscoe, Logano, Lawson was 6th. Christopher Bell was 7th. Bell and Bush are 7th and 8th again. Jesus Christ!
And those two always find each other on track.
They
every time.
They do.
It's incredible.
Christian, which one did you race with? Christopher Busher?
Bush,
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dakota Armstrong.
Who?
Where's he?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You said who, so it's not like I'm
right.
just the guy here.
And then we had Cindric and Gilliland. All right.
Yeah.
Now we move over just to the standings. Doesn't mean anything because only 4 guys it counts for. And they all start with the same points.
It's one round. Winner takes all.
I know. Why don't they just
finish ahead of the other 3?
There we go. All right. Okay.
So Sean, you know what that means, right? That means if 3 of them wreck, or 4 of them wreck, whoever finishes like 33rd out of like the 36, 37, 38, and 39 finishers, he wins.
Gotcha.
That's really great for.
They could all crash out, and
I would love to see a lap 1 crash. The whole field is taken out. That's
Come
that's the championship.
That happened in the Xfinity race. Like 3/4 of the field got taken out, and there was so much crap on it. Like there was so much oil on the track. They had to go to like Walmart and like Costco, and they bought all the Tide. Seriously, I'm not joking. Like all the dry powder Tide, and they like threw it down on the track to get it ready for Sunday. It was such a mess. Can we touch on the Xfinity Series fiasco?
Oh, I'd love to. I mean, RCR is having a
because this is another reason why I like Sheldon Creed, who is a protege of Robbie Gordon.
Yep.
Did not give an F.
Yeah, well, there's one spot for the championship.
Right.
Of course he's going to go for it.
Right. He's going to go for it. And like they're all mad at Childress because he's like leaving, and they're all mad that he kind of roughed up their boy Austin Hill. And Grandpa Richard did not like it. Nor did Andy Petrie. Like, go sit down. 2 old fools.
Well, you know who won, right?
Justin Allgaier.
Yeah, Dale Jr. Dale Jr.'s gone.
Well, that's all right. And Junior didn't think he was not taking sides with Grandpa Richard.
No.
So I just thought it was funny.
It was amusing to watch. I just couldn't believe what I was watching. I was just like, no way this happened.
And then Creed
Creed
comes out today, and he's going to Gibbs. So now he's on my crap list.
He's on a better team. He's on a better team in that regard.
I can't stand Gibbs.
No, I hear you, but I mean, in terms of if you're thinking of like, okay, which team would I rather be on with a better car?
True.
Joe Gibbs is the better team to be on.
That's true. I did like the sponsorship of this race, though. Dead on Tools 250. That's pretty cool.
So when you buy them, are they dead on arrival?
Dead on.
Or?
Yep. Spot on.
All
right. Okay, that concludes NASCAR. And
so wait, hang on. Let's do our picks. Who's going to win the championship?
All right.
Larson.
I would have to say either Larson or Blaney.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I'd love to see Ryan.
Well, let's pick one, kids.
I would say Larson.
Oh,
Larson.
there we go.
Yeah.
Larson
Yeah,
got the kiss
yeah.
of death.
No. I mean, this year is setting up for Larson to win because
Larson.
F1's had a repeat champion, IndyCar's has a repeat
That's
champion. Can
NASCAR could have another
finish it out
repeat
and
champion.
have that stat
be
that
nice.
I've still yet to go back and look up that I know is there, but
One more fun stat out of this.
Yes.
I think Kyle Larson is the only driver in the Final Four to have won a championship before.
Who is of these guys has anyone won at Phoenix?
Let's see. Kyle Larson has won, and I think that's it.
Okay, there you go.
Because William Byron hasn't. Christopher Bell definitely has
It's
not.
funny. Byron's on a roll too. He's won a ton of races this year.
Mm-hmm.
Watch it be Bell. Seriously.
just from
Everyone never know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
just which would be fine.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I have no qualms with any of the four, so all
Nope.
good. All right, so off we go to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. You know what Hermanos means in Spanish?
But
bros.
Brothers. That's very good, Christian. Do you know who the
Do you
Rodriguez?
know what
Do you know who the
amigos-
Rodriguez brothers are?
who?
Not specifically, but I know that they're
They
two
were
racing legends.
two racing legends from Mexico back in the late '60s. Very talented drivers.
I get why they go through the stadium, but I would still
The
like
baseball stadium.
yeah.
Well, the original
No,
track.
that's what I mean.
Right.
That's what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
I wish it would just wrap all the way around
Exactly,
because I
which was
think
much
that's
better.
much
Yeah.
more exciting.
Yeah, but they did that when the IndyCars came there. They thought it was
And-
sexy to go through the infield there. It was kind of cool.
because I saw a video this past
of
week
the old track.
I've seen video of the old track,
Yeah.
but it popped up of the World Sports Car Championship going around there.
Oh yeah,
that was cool.
yeah. Not as good as the Grand Am race that ended with JC France getting in a punch out there in the last lap. That was awesome.
Yeah,
That
I
was
remember
that was
one.
fantastic.
That's funny.
Yeah, I forget who he got in a punch out with, but it was pretty good. Anyways, that was back in the day. I really didn't. It pretty much panned out the way we all guessed last 2 weeks ago. Well, you guys
You guessed the
theorized.
podium.
I got Hamilton. I got Verstappen,
You
Hamilton,
had
and Leclerc.
you had everyone in the correct order.
Oh wow!
Oh wow, Sean!
And who was
Oh,
my
yeah.
dark horse? Norris?
Piastri.
Oh, Piat. What? You sure about that?
Yes,
You want
I have it written
to
down.
fact check that, please?
I have it
Oh,
written
all
down.
right. Which
It's-
wasn't
it's
bad.
Sean,
You finished
come on, it's
eighth.
fact
Yeah,
check.
that I was gonna say it wasn't a bad pick either.
It wasn't a bad pick. Oh, that's good.
Got points.
I think Ricardo or Norris would have been the best pick.
I wasn't
Dark
like
horse pick, but-
I mean, like people were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe Ferrari qualified 1-2."
What do you mean?
Yeah,
They're good at
I mean,
one
I'm
it just seems like it just. This is I was talking with my group that I was with on Sunday, and we were talking about it, and I think they just happened to hit it right at that time with the temperature, the track temperature, and everything, and the car, reacted to it. Thoughts?
I mean, Ferrari always has good qualifying pace,
Yeah.
no matter where they go.
Good point.
And especially at a track that, like, I feel like straight line speed is so important. I feel like they could really focus the car at a track like.
How did Ferrari do? Did they get pole at Monza?
Yeah.
Yep, Carlos did, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so as Nick said, not surprising that they did that here because it's very close to Monza.
I mean,
in terms of track layout, not
I'm with-
distance.
The other thing too is I'm with Charles or whoever
Charles?
Leclerc
Charles?
on him getting the question of like, oh, you've gotten pole and you just haven't converted it to a win kind of thing. I feel like that stat is just obnoxious and like just.
The question's obnoxious, or
I think the question is obnoxious
yeah,
at
it's
this
ridiculous.
point because
yeah,
everyone knows. I mean, you can take the stat like I guess before last year, but
the last 2 years, no.
These last 2 years,
Yeah.
no, because the Ferrari, yes, has been the best car in one lap pace, but
Right.
the Red Bull is completely superior on race pace.
Why they bring that question
So-
up, I don't know. Just refer
Yeah.
back to the sprint race last week.
Right.
When, I mean, it's just like Max got grief for going. Well, we saw what happened. I mean, yeah, he was
Right.
right. He was 100% right. I mean, Like, it doesn't matter where. Like, if he starts in the top 10, he's got a threat to win.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't just contribute that to the.
Where did he start at Spa?
He can start anywhere.
Where did he start? He didn't start 19th at Spa, did he? Was that true?
No, he started.
Hold on, I'll tell you right now.
13th.
That way back, not last year, not this year.
It was last year.
It was some crazy.
It was 13th or 15th.
Yeah, but
yeah,
it wasn't like people are going, "Oh, that's pretty cocky." I'm like, no, that's just being honest. Yeah,
I mean, go back to Lewis or Vettel. When their Mercedes and Red Bull were dominant, they would literally start dead last and be on the podium. Or potentially win it. That's how fast that car was.
Those cars were. I don't know if you guys touched on this about what happened, the post-race stuff at Austin, the DQs.
Yeah. Like Leclerc and Lewis?
Yeah.
Right.
Can't remember.
I mean,
anyways.
It's just to me, it just was another case for not having sprint races.
Yeah,
because they couldn't.
Do they still do Parc Fermé?
Yeah. Once they went to qualifying, they were in Parc Fermé for the entire rest of the weekend.
Oh my god!
So Friday afternoon,
and then they changed the track too.
Yeah, and then they changed the track, but it doesn't matter. It's just like how do you get the car set up in one session?
Right.
Really, damn.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if let's just say had Mercedes come in, like they thought they were in compliance. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So say at the end of the day, if it was they had FP1, FP2. End of the day, they still can look at the car and they're like, oh crap, we're not. So now they got to raise the car up, and then also now they fall back, and everyone's well, I don't know what happened, but I mean it kind of puts Lewis and the snitch in a bad spot.
Yeah, but I mean it's the same. I will say that I do kind of agree with Lewis's comments afterwards of how well, if two cars had the issue and we're not checking everyone,
right?
Then
now
why?
This was I apologize. I know I'm dredging up something from a week ago, but for that whole time when it was just they focused on Lewis and Charles. Mm-hmm. They never said who the other. I never saw who the other two cars were. Okay, I didn't see that. I found out on Saturday on a podcast that I was listening to who the other two cars were, and it was Max and Lando.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so those two cars were checked.
All right.
And they were in compliance. All right. But case in point, I agree with what both of the other two said. Yeah. They got DQ'd. Yeah, you could have, but I don't know. Did you guys know that it was Max and Lando?
I didn't even know that there were other drivers checked.
There were 4 cars checked, and the 4 checked were Max, Lando.
Was it the top 4?
No, it was a random. Honest to God, it was random. It just happened to be that it was the first 3 on the podium plus Lando. Just happened to be checked.
Okay.
Anyways, I mean, I give Mercedes credit. They well, we made a mistake. Same thing with Fred Vasseur. It's like we made a mistake, but it's like they got put in that spot, and it's just
yeah.
I mean, the other thing that you got to remember too is that Mercedes also brought out a new floor for that race.
Yeah.
So it's possible maybe they had something that was calculated wrong or something like that.
Exactly.
But,
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, on top of it, you can never rule out that, a team is trying to maybe cut a corner to gain some performance or something like that.
I dare you say that.
And a track like COTA, I mean, as world grade FIA certified as it is, it's still a very bumpy track.
Well, you could have been like Checo. You could have been cutting the corner and never got called on it.
Yeah. I mean, that happens kind of often unless you're passing someone that's a fan favorite or something like that,
Yeah, but I forget who brought that up, but I was like...
George?
The snitch? There are so many other races...
The snitch.
There were so many other races where drivers were doing the same thing with track limits, whether it was extending or cutting, whichever one, because when you have some races that are just super tight. I mean, the one that came to mind was Lewis was doing it in 21, I think. It was one of the races. He was literally just, I think it was Silverstone. He was just extending
the corner
and cutting like where everyone was told not to do that.
Right.
Yeah,
he did it in Qatar too.
Yeah,
I remember.
I mean, this is what happens when you're running these tracks. I mean,
right.
I mean,
and then if you're gonna police him like that,
yeah. I mean, the funny thing was, as Christian pointed out last week, was the Porsche Cup race. There was no track limits. It was perfectly fine.
All right.
Anyways, let's get back to Mexico. I mean, pretty much
controversy.
qualifying went. I mean, I'm not shocked, but like, here's the thing: when we get to qualifying and Max is third, I mean, he's actually in the catbird seat there.
Yeah, it's the best seat in the house.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
So I'm kind of curious. Did he just go, "Oh, I can be third, and I'll just take my foot out of it a bit"?
I know.
Well, and then you have the long straightaway at the start.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, that's what they're saying.
The point, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best place to start. You get the whole toe down the whole
You
straight.
get the double. You can potentially get a double toe, right?
Because he even post qualifying, when the top three were like sitting in the media room answering questions, I think Max and Carlos were joking about like wanting to swap spots.
Oh, they were
because Carlos knows that that's the spot to be.
Yeah.
Like that's
good. Charles is like, what? Now, shall we talk about the start? This was
Yeah.
I mean,
Red Bull gives you wings.
which part of it? Because there was a dragon on there.
a what?
There was a dragon on the straight for a bit.
A what?
Everyone was snaking a little bit.
On the start. Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you meant like in Singapore, dragon.
No.
There's a lizard on the track.
There's a lizard on the
Yes.
track.
No,
Godzilla had a baby.
There were about five cars that
They snaked.
That
They did the
dragon.
Swedish snake.
Yeah, or the French dragon, whichever one you want to call it.
French
on the straight,
dragon?
and a couple of guys were like, "Wow, I'm surprised! Like nobody took anyone out."
Took anyone out.
So
And then Max got to the inside. That was pretty ballsy, though.
He split the middle between the two
Ferraris.
Ferraris.
He had
Cleared
a great
Carlos.
launch.
Oh yeah, he had an
Both
awesome
down
launch.
inside.
Didn't it look like
Yeah.
Leclerc bogged?
Didn't matter. Look,
have a
Max
good
usually
reaction.
doesn't.
Yes and no.
Max usually doesn't have a good start.
No. I'm
and-
just
and he had
saying.
a great one.
I just thought Leclerc might have bogged a little bit, but yeah, once he split it, I'm like, oof. And then out of nowhere,
Hometown hero.
Viva Mexico.
One lap wonder.
Sergio Perez.
it was like
Around the
one
outside.
straight wonder.
Wait. So, Sean, do you think he was listening to Harry Hyde? If you go around the outside, you can't hold him.
I have no idea what he was doing.
I don't know what he was doing either. I didn't get why.
His whole thing is, I get that you want to win your race, but at this point, you're fighting for your seat for next year. No joke. And had Hamilton not got DQ'd last week, he's not in second place this week.
No, he got lucky with that DQ. And I'll tell you another thing too. Look where Lewis finished. He finished second, and then also
No. Good.
You know,
Yeah,
adding,
but if Lewis finished, if
He'd still be in
by
second
how much?
if he kept his podium position,
by 2 points.
2 points.
it's not. It's
Two
but that's
points.
nothing, Sean. Yeah, that's
No.
nothing.
I'm just saying, like, what was
I
going
don't-
through his head?
I don't think he'll be in second after this upcoming week.
I don't either. I don't either.
No.
Because
It's not
I
a chance.
we'll save it for my picks.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so I don't know what he was thinking. No idea. And what's he thinking? He's gonna outbrake Leclerc.
I mean,
Who
for
is
me, it just looked like
fiendishly
an
good on
act
brakes. I'm sorry, Nick. I
was-
stepped all over you. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It was just like an act of desperation. Like he just went for something, even though there were two cars inside of him. Like, what do they just expect them to give him the spot? You know?
I know. And then he gives it the old Senna answer, and I'm like, yeah, on the last lap that works, but not on the first lap. I mean, it was like,
And not even on the outside. Like that's like a, you're making a move on the outside where two people don't have anywhere to go.
it was literally Lance Stroll like.
The best was in the cool down room after the race. Lewis was watching. And he was like, "Oh, he did me."
Which was funny.
From
that
last
was
week.
funny.
Okay. Yeah.
That was
yeah,
funny.
That's funny.
That was funny. But I just...
Like, you have so much pressure under you. You could lose your ride. And if you get a podium,
just finishing
just
on the
keep
podium,
second place.
just finishing on the podium there is a win for Mexico. Just
Right.
But it's I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I think,
He has so much to lose doing that.
Right. Yeah.
and even if you wait another lap, I mean, it's not even like you need DRS to make a move down that straight. Like, you could just get a tow and you can make the same move.
100% agree. I don't. Yeah. I mean, I get why Max made the move because from that position you can make it, and he did get a great launch, and so he was in a position to put himself there.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have easily got squeezed by Leclerc. Fair on him. I mean,
Actually, that's one incident that we haven't seen, thankfully, is someone splitting the two front row guys and then getting squeezed and then just causing a whole accident.
Right, because
in the middle of that,
he could have got squeezed going down. If he got into one and got squeezed, he would have went right back into traffic.
No, I mean like halfway down the
I was
straight.
just going to bring that up.
2018.
I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah,
You're
that's
a
a good one.
magician.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Yeah, Kimi Räikkönen and Sebastian Vettel just squeezed Max Verstappen. And there's no way.
But I have no idea what Perez was thinking. Zero. Couldn't even tell you. I mean...
But even worse, Sean, he didn't even dart across the grass like Lewis Hamilton has before.
He could have exactly. Just go, I'm not going to make it. Just go through the grass. And all you can do is plead, like, as long as the other two come out in front of you, no one cares.
Yeah. Well, because I think Leclerc cut the corner and then ended up just giving the position back to Max.
Yeah. So anyways. From then on, I mean, it was really, until they got the red flag for Magnussen's crash.
So the strategy was going to be interesting to watch. I don't think any of the one-stop guys would have held on to the win because I think Max had it covered pretty well.
Yeah.
By that point, which just kind of goes to show how much pace that car has. But I mean, Ferrari didn't. I was surprised Ferrari didn't split the strategy unless they just didn't think that they had the pace to do it, which, fine, it happens. But, yeah, Mercedes committed to the two-stop, right? Or I know they went longer.
Think you're right.
I know they went longer than
Ferrari?
Max. No, Mercedes with Lewis.
Yeah.
Because I know they waited longer, but they didn't.
The only thing, well, what I didn't really understand with them was when they switched, and they were kind of screwed because they didn't have the extra set of hards.
Right.
So they kind of screwed themselves a little bit.
But in the end, after K-Mag's crash, the sprint at that point, you saw the mediums versus the hards, which was interesting to see in itself, that you had used mediums versus fresh hards versus new mediums and how everyone kind of shaked out.
Right.
But yeah, K-Mag's crash was wild.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
bizarre.
you know what it kind of reminded me? It reminded me of kind of Mick Schumacher's crash at Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia. Okay. No, fair point on
It was pretty reminiscent of that crash, and like the tight S's.
The way the car
fast section.
The way the car folded up reminded me of Monte Carlo.
Yeah, I was going to say that one as well. But it wasn't. It was much more. I mean, a mechanical failure than down on their own. I mean, I think he went off into the marbles on the last corner, and you just saw that suspension kind of taking a hit. After that, I think that was it for him.
Yeah,
like they probably should have retired the car. But seeing a crash like that, it's not too common. That was a pretty big crash.
Well, enough for a red flag. and they had to, do a grid start again. And guess who got out front again?
Max got another good
Max.
Yep.
Max.
one. That time from the starting position.
And then he pulled away, and then Lewis came through. I great drive, conserving the tires, did a great job.
Yeah.
Drive from the rear was definitely Norris.
Yeah, Lando Norris.
So
What do you got? P5, right?
P5. So
great result.
Yeah,
Great
I mean,
result.
it was really.
I think outstanding performance throughout the whole weekend was Ricardo.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you got a top
fourth,
10 finish,
right?
qualified. Yeah, agree. That I would agree, Chris.
Out qualifies a Red Bull.
Which Red Bull? Oh, you mean the third Red Bull, the second Red Bull? Which one?
Whatever, doesn't matter. It's just anyways.
What I'm really amazed to see is how far backwards Alonso has gone throughout this whole season.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really like a P3 contender, P2 contender in the championship for like the first half of the season, and now he's just like nowhere to be found, especially after the DNF that he had.
No, I 100% agree.
Well, and you know what that does? That ties in with Carlos Sainz for fourth. And I don't see it getting any better. I mean, if anything, Lando Norris might leapfrog Alonso, might fight Carlos Sainz for fourth.
Right.
I mean, Alonso's already come out and said that they're not fighting for anything.
So, quick question. So, just, looking at the standings right now, how much do you get for second?
Prize money?
18.
No, points.
Oh,
19.
19?
19 if you have a fast point.
It would be 2 points had Lewis not got DQ'd.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is just utterly and look, he's driving a car that is completely inferior up until the last couple races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mercedes
Okay.
has definitely found pace.
Something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's like, well, they found pace on Sergio. They haven't found pace on Max.
No.
Okay, but I mean, it's like how. Anyways,
I mean, you see these big gaps that Verstappen has over the field, like 13 seconds for Mexico.
but Lewis had 8 seconds on Charles,
Right.
which
Yeah.
is impressive.
Yeah. No. They've definitely scooted away from Ferrari.
He has.
Yes. Yeah.
The
that's a good
snitch
point.
has not. The snitch is in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can definitely see who these upgrades are favoring at the moment.
Well,
I guess-
think you're going to see. Yeah, you're going to see it this week, right? Brazil.
Well,
For Mercedes at their
yeah, we
their
at that
best
point.
race.
Do we want to talk about?
I mean, do we have
Picks.
anything else on
No,
Mexico?
I just was just talking. My only thing was, just the DQ with Lewis last week is significant in the sense that it'd be 2 points right now going into Brazil.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
There's no,
And who
if
knows?
he loses that, there is no way he stays.
No, right. Finally, the Red Bull mentality. Like, this is what they've done to drivers before. Right? If he doesn't get second, Sean, there's zero chance in hell that he stays with them. for
I
next year.
can't see him staying. I can't.
No. And the thing that you got to question, though, moreover, is like, is it the car itself working with Checo? Like, are the upgrades working with him? Or is Red purposely slowing him down because they don't want him there anymore?
No, that stuff would show up on the data.
I mean, I'm
at the point now. How much is he really working with these guys?
It doesn't seem like it.
No.
I-
and I'll
Because
tell
I
you,
almost think Lewis is more working with the Mercedes guys, and George is just off, taking pictures of him in Ibiza with his girlfriend,
But then you got to think, too, it's like how much of, George Russell's input is useful to Mercedes versus Lewis Hamilton,
Right.
I mean, when the car was fresh out of
This
the
is a good
box, you
point.
saw George Russell was really fast.
And
But
if you flip it over to Ferrari, I almost think the input that Carlos is given is much more meaningful than what Charles is giving.
Yes.
There's a difference in giving feedback on how the car is handling and what you potentially need to change to make the car quicker, versus driving the car and giving feedback of how to develop a car.
Right.
So it is different.
So if you go down that route, you're saying that Max is giving feedback that develops the car. You're also saying that Lewis has been giving feedback that develops the car, and Carlos is doing the same. Is that correct? As I understand what you're saying.
I mean, look at it. Look at the standings, right?
Is that what you're saying?
4 drivers are there.
Is that what you're saying?
I think Max's feedback is definitely on the level of knowing how to develop a car.
I think Lewis is there now too.
Yeah.
And I think Carlos is too. I mean, it gets back to what Nate and Nick were just saying, that's where it's standing in the points. The only reason Sergio's sitting there is because the Red Bull itself at the beginning of the season was that good.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay? And he capitalized on Max having a couple of mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, if any.
Right. So, but, you know, and the same goes for Lando. You know, you have to say that. I mean, so you take Perez out of the top 5, well, and Alonso out of the top 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 guys that are now in there, I mean, those guys are. I don't know. I mean, Alonso could get caught by Lando.
He probably will.
That's what I'm thinking. And I would even say Carlos Sainz if things happen oddly. Hey, I'm just saying, there's still a couple of races left. Things can happen.
Maybe not Carlos.
It's a stretch.
Because I think the Ferrari and McLaren are about the same.
Yeah, I think the Ferrari would take a DNF for them. The Aston Martin has pretty much been DNFing these past 2-3 weekends. Right. So it's not really.
You never know. Brazil could be a wild race, right? Las Vegas is a wild card right now. No one has notes going into that race.
Vegas is a wild card. Wild card.
So there's a lot that could happen.
Yeah. All right.
I think between now and then.
All right. So
at the end of the season, that is.
Shall we move on to our picks?
All right. Top 3 and a dark horse. I'm gonna go. Lewis is going to win.
Damn you.
I think Max will finish. No. I say Max doesn't finish on the podium. I think Lewis, Lando, Piastri.
Oh, double McLaren podium.
Double McLaren.
Oh, interesting.
And your dark horse for this weekend, I think Ricciardo will carry his momentum through.
Okay. Nate?
Mine's really topsy-turvy. I just want to make sure you're prepared for this. I think you're going to see Lando Norris get his first win this week. Because, listen.
I like that going on. That's out on a limb. I like that.
It's because this is what's going to happen. I really see it as Lewis and George are going to see it as, that this is their race to win, and if they can't win, at least get a podium out of it. I think I just really see Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen getting into it and maybe causing an accident. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be something like that. Like whoever, right? But I think that kind of opens the floodgates to a Lando Norris win anyway. So rounding out the podium, coming in second, Carlos Sainz, right? And then coming in third, we'll call it Charles Leclerc.
Lance Stroll.
No, stop. I'm not a window licker. I'm not a window licker.
That's his dark horse, Stroll.
Wait, no, my dark horse.
K-Mag?
Fellas.
K-Mag?
No, Pure Gasly is my my dark horse. So we'll see how it fans out.
All right, I'm gonna be like Christian. I think Lewis might win here. I'm gonna pick Max to finish second.
Okay.
I'm going to disagree with Nate on the fact that Max and Lewis are going to get into it. And the reason being is that Lewis is trying to get to second place. So I think Lewis is going to be a little more cautious in playing around Max if that gets to that point. If Lewis is on the pole, which would not be surprising, I don't see that being a problem. I don't think. I just don't think Lewis is going to. I don't think he's going to muck around because if Perez is starting in back of him, he's definitely not mucking around. He's gonna. His basic mission is to keep Perez in back of him. So I'm gonna go Lewis, Max. I'm gonna go Lando as well.
Nice.
And then my dark horse is gonna be Hulkenberg.
Oh, yeah, Williams pole sitter.
My whole thing is, what's the weather gonna be?
Good question.
That's a big question.
That is a really good question.
Haas got pole with the rain, so
With K-Mag of all drivers.
right.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
all right,
Yeah.
Nick, you want to throw in your?
Sorry.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
right?
Sorry, Nick, right before you get into it.
No.
What-
I mean, I think that. Oh,
What-
no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What's your problem?
there looks to be like there's a chance of rain in qualifying on Friday because it's a sprint weekend.
Oh Christ! It's
Oh,
a sprint
come
weekend.
on.
Here we go.
Oh,
There you
joking.
go. Last one of the year. God. And then just
Just
to
get rid of it.
just to make it somewhat boring for a weekend, it's sunny the rest of the weekend.
Is it sunny and hot?
70s.
Oh, really?
Not
That's
really.
kind of
It's gonna be
cool.
kinda cool.
That's kind of cool.
So
All right. Okay. All right, Nick.
Nice.
Now that you got the weather
Nick,
forecast,
bring it. Yeah.
I'm gonna take Lance, Fernando,
and
and Albon.
Logan Sargent.
Logan Sargent, right?
Yeah.
damn.
I mean, if you look at like the two most competent people at this track for the last 5 years, I would definitely pick Max Verstappen first and Lewis Hamilton second, just because I think no matter where Max finishes in the sprint race or qualifies, I think that he has the pace to win here, and he's always been strong, even in a car that wasn't as fast as his is now. So for that reason, I think Max can win without an issue. And I think that Lewis will definitely be able to come second place because I don't think anybody else can really put their elbows out too much. But for third place, I feel like Ferrari never really has any kind of real raw pace there, no kind of advantage. So I wouldn't pick any of them. I would say more. It's really between Lando and George, and for third, I would pick Lando, honestly, just based on recent performance. For a dark horse, I would probably pick. I would say it's a tough choice between Carlos Sainz, who could maybe perform, and someone who's done well here in the past, Pierre Gasly.
Yes. Yeah. Side of his first podium.
Yeah.
Went then Toro Rosso.
I mean, there's a lot of things that would have to happen for that, but I've always seen Pierre as like a good driver at this track, especially when he was on AlphaTauri. But, you know, if there's any kind of weather inclination, it's definitely going to mix stuff up a lot.
All right.
Definitely.
All right. So let's move into the Northeast Karting Halloween 4-hour enduro. The three you participated in.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
And there is one missing person on this podcast, Jake Innes. We couldn't have done it without him, so I just want to give Jake Innes a special shout-out that he did in driving the second hour of the race. And so thank you, Jake, for your efforts. And his dad is a pretty cool person, too. He definitely, was an added character to the bunch, and so it was pretty cool to meet him and have him throughout the day. So I just want to give a little special shout-out there.
Yeah. So Red Mist Racing returns to rental kart endurancing.
Yeah. All right.
So, yeah, this past weekend, we all traveled down to Englishtown, New Jersey, to race at Nick. What's the track's name officially?
Englishtown Raceway Park.
All right, got to race there in yes a said parking lot.
The parking lot of the park part, right?
It's a designated go-kart racing track in the
Yes,
park.
yeah, there is. It is painted. Lines are all painted and everything, so it is well marked. So you can't miss it too much.
Has its fair share of paint and turtle shell curbing.
Yeah, the turtle shell curbing. I on Saturday practice. So races on Sunday. They had a practice session or an open practice on Saturday. We went down, or Nate and I went down on Saturday and did a couple laps, and there weren't any of these turtle shell curbings that just got bolted into the ground. And we didn't think that they would be there on race day, but let alone they were. So they were definitely not, or they were definitely some stuff to stay away from.
Right, because if you ran over those turtle shells, it was not a fun ride. I mean, granted, there's no shocks on these go-karts, so you're definitely going to feel the whole thing. So it was best to stay off of them, for sure.
Yeah.
They're not exactly chassis benders, but they definitely don't help you out.
No, definitely not. So they had a couple different classes advertised for this event. So you could either do the rental karts that they had as one class, or you could also enter in with a 206 motor, or what was it, a Ghost Predator motor or something.
Yeah.
So you could do that.
Was that the Harbor Freight motor? Was that the Harbor Freight motor?
Yeah. But I think there was a clash of events because there was also the Spartan race in Maryland going on at the same weekend. So I think a lot of the 206 guys that probably would have came and were down there, and then also I think probably the weather might have frightened a couple of them off as well. But there were 13 entries in the rental kart class, so we were one of 13, and there was, I think, unfortunately, a sole 206 kart entered in that class. So it was a good test day for them.
Do you think they won in their class?
I heard they put it on pole and then finished dead last in their class.
Unbelievable.
So
What a showing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so these rental karts, they're a little faster than what you may think for rental karts. Not entirely sure what the engine is, but they were open wheel.
well, they were the Honda. What is it? Is it GX 270 or 270 GX? Either way. But I think they were pretty similar to what F1 Boston had for engines.
Oh, okay. All right. Very nice. Very nice. But let's see. We had about an hour practice, right? And then qualifying was not really that long.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah. Practice was an hour long. Qualifying was 5 minutes, and then but the the practice that was supposed to start at 9 a.m. started at like 10:30, I think it was, or 10 o'clock, something like that. So
Yeah, it was delayed.
And everyone was kind of delayed just because I think everyone slept in for lack of better excuse. So yeah, me personally, I wasn't a huge fan of that just because I had a long drive home afterwards. But I know, I think I was probably the furthest traveler to that race, if I had to guess.
I mean,
yeah.
of the four of us, for sure. But I think of everybody, I think you were too.
Yeah. So
I think that's it.
So I mean, otherwise a pretty smooth race, I would say, for the whole event. which I think we were all pretty pleased with.
Right, and I mean, we had further discussion on who would, maybe start, finish, right, and do the in between.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, our driver placement, I think we hit it perfectly.
Yeah,
Looking at it afterwards, we really maximized all of our strengths because and funny enough, I've never done a Le Mans start.
Yeah, Nate,
but I knew
you got to enjoy that.
well, enjoy it. I'll tell you, it was put my prior cross country and track and field skills to the test, and ran over to the kart as fast as I could. And I'll tell you, it was a really good start. We went from fifth on the grid. We qualified fifth on the grid, up to second at one point. Fell back to third. Rained a little bit for within the first 20 minutes, right? And then I saw the 2 leaders pit separately, and then at that point I knew I was leading, and so I was like, oh sweet, I'm leading some laps here. And then we eventually came in for I think 1 or 2 of the stops. I forget how many total pit stops. It ended up being like 4 or 5, right? Something like that.
Yeah. So the quirky rule with this race is you had to make a minimum, there were 12 pit stops required that you had to make. So over those 4 hours, we just had to figure out when we wanted to do that. And we decided to get a lot of our pit stops done in the first half of the race, and then have kind of minimal stops in the second half. So once we kind of got into our, I guess, pit stop phase of the race, where we were just coming in like ever so often, we dropped down the leaderboard pretty quick. But that was because when you pit, you lost a lap, so you just had to, or because the timing beacon didn't run through the pit lane, so you quote unquote lost a lap because you pitted. So from the timing and scoring aspect, yeah, we weren't doing great, but on a strategy aspect, we were putting ourselves ahead of the game to try and make it up later in the race.
Well, and I'll tell you, Jake did a great job in his second hour, but I'll tell you, the timing of Nick getting in was so good because I do enjoy driving in the rain, but I don't think anyone enjoys the rain driving more so than Nick does. And Nick put on an absolute clinic in driving in the rain in that third hour. Nick, dude, you were...
I mean, I really enjoyed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, when it started raining for the first start of my stint, I think I got in about 2 hours, 15 minutes, and I was running for probably about 20 minutes when it just started to lightly drizzle that transitioned into literally like a consistent, I'd say medium rain that just continued throughout the rest of my stint. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, there's nothing like driving in the rain. You have to really be patient with the kart, and I feel like throughout my stint, it was a lot of, changing conditions. It would get more wet, then it would maybe stop raining as much, and then it would rain harder. So I felt like just the dynamicness of racing in wet conditions is something that you can't really compare to driving on a dry track. So that was something that I really enjoyed a lot.
And Nick, you had the luxury of, during one of your pit stops, we put on wet tires, right?
Yeah, exactly. We put on some nice MG wet tires. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no. No.
Driving on slicks in the rain is like completely different than driving on wets in the rain.
Yeah, so everyone in the rental car class had to race in slicks. No wet tires.
Yeah, I mean,
no easy task. By no means.
I think that driving on slicks in the rain, it makes you take a step back from driving on wet tires or even just in dry conditions or whatever, because, you really have to be so patient with the kart, and you have to find where the grip is on the track. And I mean, Christian drove pretty much his whole stint in the wet as well. And I think we could both say that, there were a lot of people on track that were not as patient and really suffered because of it. I mean, we finished second, but I think that the kart that won the race was spinning out pretty much every other lap.
Yeah, I mean they were definitely quick in the wet. Because I mean, even looking at the times, they had like a second on us. I wasn't really too sure where they were getting that from, but I mean I also wasn't, when I hopped in the kart, it was definitely a reality check because I had no practice in the wet at all on with these karts. So I mean, it was pretty much just trying to learn the track brand new. But watching,
I mean, you did a good job doing it. I mean, the track, when you got in the car, it was literally like it just started downpouring for a solid like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was really slick.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
I could tell it's more slick. I think this time's like for everybody slowed down probably about 5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, when I went out there, I was pretty much, I think I was like 5 or 6 seconds at least off of what you were doing when you got out of the kart, Nick. And I mean, watching you definitely helped, but there was definitely a timidness of me wanting to get off the dry line, and that definitely hindered a lot of my speed. But your knowledge of this track that you had definitely helped in urging me to get off that line, because there was the minute I deviated off the racing line, there was so much more grip than there was on it. Like it was the racing line is really rubbered in, and it slicks up like crazy when you're in the wet. But yeah, I mean, like we mentioned, like everyone else was pretty much spinning more or less, and that was one thing I didn't want to do either. So I didn't mind going slower on the racing line versus having to spin the kart out, recollect myself and then get back going again.
Yeah, I mean, I think you did a great job given the conditions. And the thing that makes it really difficult at that track is that it's kind of multi-use. So they also use it as part of like a skid pad for like drifting. And just the amount of rubber that's laid down, like on certain portions of the track, it really made you have to be like super selective with where you put the kart. Because even if you ran the wet line, it was still like super slick in some spots because of the amount of rubber that was on the track. But, you did a great job finding, those different areas, even when the track was completely soaked. So we're pretty lucky because, to a certain level, you can drive in slicks in the rain, but once it reaches a certain point, it's pretty much uncontrollable. And we were lucky that it wasn't like, a ton of standing water on the track or anything like that, because otherwise I think it would have been a complete disaster.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, turn one was definitely the worst just because it was like repaved there too, and it just didn't matter what line you chose. It was just all slick right there.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what you did, it was like the corner, the type of corner it was, and just how the corner was, it was like you had no traction at all.
Right.
And it's like the only thing that you needed in that corner was front end grip, which you had none of. So it's like you were constantly battling, just, trying to get the kart to bite. And then when it did, it was like then you had to battle getting on the power so that you could actually accelerate out of the corner. So it was definitely like a challenging scenario where I feel like we really excelled. We had some difficulties that we overcame in the middle and the second half of the race, where I feel like, me and you having experience, and also, Nate and Jake just really being able to put in solid laps all around. Like Nate was saying, the driver placement in those stints, I feel like really contributed to the good result that we had.
Yeah,
100%.
definitely. And Nick, for I guess the people that listen to this podcast, the 10, 15 of them, I think it is, that listen to this on a daily basis. What is your level of experience that you have?
I mean, I did a lot of racing in indoor karting for probably like 3 years, and I continued that even when I started outdoor racing. I mean, I did a lot of regional road tax racing and some national stuff, especially in the Northeast for probably about 4 or 5 years, and just continued, racing in general throughout those years. I'd say combined, I probably have about a little bit more than like 12 or 13 years of racing experience. And even after I did racing and some rental kart stuff on the side, I was like a coach and a mechanic. So, I really enjoy racing a lot. I love it. I do a lot of sim racing, and I feel like that really contributes to, staying sharp whenever I could get back in the kart. I mean, I was honored to be a part of your guys' team, but the last time that I raced a kart was probably like almost 2 years ago at this point. So it was definitely good to see that I was still sharp in the seat, and I could definitely thank us racing on the sim a lot for that.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Well, I'm really glad you came onto the team because I knew you're definitely a fast driver at minimum, but I mean, the rain skills, I was definitely looking at you. I was like, oh my gosh, Nick, this is your stint. You have to go in this. It's just meant to be because I know how good of a rain racer you really are. And it's definitely no easy task for sure because, I mean, I've definitely had my hand in it. And even when it started raining a little bit in my stint, I was like, okay, I have to back off like significantly because given the fact that we were on slicks. So I really can't imagine what it was like out there during your stint, and even Christian's, because Christian had to deal with a ton of rain as well.
Yeah. No, I mean, I remember I used to go to Oakland Valley. That was like my home track that I used to race at all the time, do like club championships and stuff like that. I was a New York State champion there one time and club champion, I think, 1 or 2 years in a row. But I used to go there with my dad for like practice days, and sometimes it would be like pouring rain out there. My dad would be like, ugh, we can't go to the track, it's raining. And I would be like, no, we got to go to the track. I want to drive in the rain. And
yeah, right now we got to go.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even have like a set of rain tires to use, and I would just run slicks in like my Rotax kart, and it was a lot of fun.
Ooh.
Just being able to experience that. It's really it's a challenge, but it's also a lot of fun, and I enjoy it thoroughly, and I enjoyed being a part of the team. It was an honor getting to run with you guys.
Well, Nate, I mean, and Nate as well. I mean, it was really good to race with both you guys, even having Jake there too, because we've all been racing with each other. I guess, for lack of a better way to explain it, like we've been racing online with each other on video games, and like, the camaraderie was all already there and everything, but it was nice to like actually be there in person with one another. And that was, I think, one thing that I was definitely looking forward to, regardless of however we did. I mean, I came into this race kind of with like some low expectations, but then, I kind of got a good sense of the field pretty quick when I showed up, and I was like, all right, well, you know what, maybe we got a good chance. So, and sure enough, we put in a good result.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to Nate like beforehand. I was like, between all 4 of us, I mean, Jake can't talk here tonight, unfortunately, but, Jake has done a ton of rental kart racing. He's done some historic karting, and, he races at Riverhead Raceway. He just completed his first full season, and I think that he was a really great factor to this team.
Yeah.
But I think between the 4 of us, we have a lot of really diverse and, in-depth racing experience I felt like we were a serious contender to win that race.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, there are other people that, race a lot, but, to race in dynamic conditions like that, and especially in an endurance race where, you got to drive for a prolonged amount of times, it really tests not only your driving ability and your endurance, but your ability to adapt. And I think that race really highlighted that.
Yeah. No, we definitely got our fair share of challenges thrown at us, and I think we handled them all really well.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, let's go around. What would you say your favorite part of the race was, Nick?
Oh, I mean, definitely the rain.
Yeah, I mean that goes without saying, right? Yeah, I mean, it really was meant to be your stint. I mean, the weather gods, felt that as well. Christian, what would you say your favorite part of the race was?
I mean, I liked finishing the race, closing it out, but I gotta say I really enjoyed the strategy of trying to figure out when we should pit and whatnot, because I mean, by the time I got in the cart, like we had all of our pit stops done, so all I had to do was just bring the thing home, and I think we pretty much had ourselves locked in second, barring like any other odd incidents out there to get us the win. But I mean, yeah, I really enjoyed the strategy side of it all.
Very nice, very nice.
And Nate?
Well, my favorite part was, I mean, it's tough between the start and then leading laps. But those are probably my favorite parts of the whole weekend. And of course, spending time with all of you, us putting the whole thing together and seeing it work out very well at the end is definitely rewarding.
Yeah.
I swear, holding that cart there on the starting line and seeing you jump into it and take second place, man, that was awesome.
Heck yeah. No, it felt, the grin under my helmet at that moment, it was just ear to ear. And it was definitely a cool moment, for sure. And you know me, I love leading laps, so I was just all about, leading a few laps here. And it was just great. It was a great weekend, and oh my gosh, I have to give Alec a special shout out for he let me test one of his KA 100 carts, and I got to rip that thing around the day before Saturday, so on Saturday, and that was really nice. So Alec Fidel, thank you very much. Touring Car Championship, that was really sweet. So, all in all, a really fun weekend, I would say.
I think we really owe a shout out to the NKC, TKC guys, just because they put on a pretty good show, and it was a lot of fun, I think, for everybody. And, it was a good endurance race. I think that altogether, it came together nicely.
Yeah, and hey,
sure.
Hey, we finished second.
Yep. Definitely.
So does that mean Christian gets the Scott Goodyear joke with me, Sean, or like how does that work?
No.
Ooh.
Had to ask.
It's a lot more wins with the lead driver for Red Mist Racing.
Oh my gosh! Boy, did I open up a Pandora's box, didn't I?
His words.
His words.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh. Sean, I wish you were there. I think you would have had a fun time too. Hell, you should have driven with us.
Yeah, no. I think my driving days are done.
Well, let's see. Do we have anything else?
Yeah, there's a
Any
couple
other-
things.
Yeah, I get.
Couple of news and notes.
Yep, we can get into that.
Yeah.
I guess a quick touch on Super Formula. Rita Miata ended up winning the championship. and Liam Lawson came up short in second place, but just barely, with his teammate Tomoko Najuri finishing third. I guess the bigger talking point of video that got passed around on social media this past weekend was the crash at 130R between two drivers. Thankfully, both are good, all okay. I think one of them ended up having a concussion. He had to miss the second race. But that it looks like that race did get cut short because they ended up, or at least looking at the results, there's some half points awarded as well. So I'm guessing that they just, based on the distance, they awarded half points and went forward with that. Because of me traveling down in New Jersey, I did not get a chance to watch the race, so I really do want to go back and watch it in a whole. So, but yeah, I guess other news that I have. Let's see. What do we want to pick? There's Nick. You can buy Ferrari's version of the 499P, the Modificata.
That's huge news.
Yeah, it has more power. This is a what is it? Is it road legal or is it just track?
It's a track day car.
Track day car.
So it's a part of the Corsa Clienti, basically Ferrari's track ready program that you could basically purchase a car, and they're gonna take the car there, their nice trailer. They'll have all their technicians there to work on it for you. Mm-hmm. If any of the listeners are interested, I'm sure it's a pretty hefty price to pay, but you definitely get what you're paying for. You get a lot of performance.
Well,
I think that's the fastest car besides the Formula One car that the Corsa Clienti offers now. It's probably right on par with it.
The number that I saw is that you could purchase that car for a little bit more than $5 million. But the other interesting the interesting number that they had right under it on this racer article was that you can buy and take home a Porsche 963 for only $2.9 million.
Well, there you go.
So
they offer the same services.
Well, right. I mean, the 963 you can buy and take home, but you're not going to get the. Well, I mean, I'm sure you can get some factory support, but yeah.
From my knowledge, I don't believe that Ferrari actually lets you take those cars home.
No, that's the kicker in all of it. Like Porsche will, but this Ferrari you won't be able to take home.
Yeah,
so there's more reason to buy a Porsche then. Mm-hmm. It's less by nearly half, and you get to take it home.
I mean, if you buy one of those cars, anything 599XX, FXXK, FXX, anything like that from Ferrari, it's basically if you're in the States, Ferrari North America, or somewhere else in the world, wherever their headquarters are for that region or continent, that basically they're in charge of that car still. And you're basically like developing a program of like R&D for them, which I don't know where that goes exactly, but you're definitely helping the car in red out for sure.
Yeah, to Ferrari strategists on F1 for their school of strategy learning
or lack thereof.
Yeah, that.
I mean, honestly though, it's a pretty cool car.
Oh yeah,
it's definitely cutting edge, and also in other news, Ferrari also unveiled their new 296 GT challenge car this last weekend at the Finale Mondiale, I think if I pronounce it right, at Mugello.
Yeah.
So that's ushering in a new era, V6 twin turbo car into the Ferrari challenge realm. For those who get a kick out of that, but still would like to see a V8 in there, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen anymore.
No.
Well, I want to see V10s in F1, but we can't get that. So
Everybody's got their wish list.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess
telling me.
kind of keeping it within the WEC space, just for note, the season finale for that series is this weekend in Bahrain. There's an 8-hour race there, so that'll be something to watch if you don't want to watch the, or if you want to watch something on Saturday, you can watch that. There's other reports going around that Audi is trying to get their GT3 car into Le Mans as well. I'm not too sure on how this is going to get done because I know that they're...
What do you mean?
Well, they've discontinued the... Haven't they discontinued the support for it? Yeah, so they're
Don't worry, they're about ready to discontinue their Formula One support, so they'll be back in WEC.
Yeah.
I saw that too, Sean.
With the hypercar that's shelved in the...
Yeah, that's
in the
probably
factory.
why they're trying to save face right now to get back in GT3. So, all right? Just to let you know on that front. So, Sauber could be up for sale again.
Yeah.
And
Again.
Aston Martin could be up for sale.
So do you think... So Sauber... Like, okay, if Andretti is going to purchase a team, do you think it would be more likely Daddy's Cash or Sauber?
I think it might. I'm going to go this route. I think it would be Aston Martin, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. Because who are they going to engine partner with in 2 years?
Cadillac.
No. Who's Aston Martin going to partner with? Right.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So that's an out for Cadillac right there. And Andretti has a tie-in with Honda with Wayne Taylor Racing and IndyCar.
That's an interesting point.
And then...
Well, do you think Cadillac just opts out?
Yeah, they'll opt out. And I think what would happen is I think Toyota's going to buy Sauber.
Not a part of McLaren, because remember that one Japanese Grand Prix?
No. They will be. McLaren will get Toyota Motors, and then Toyota will come back and buy Sauber as a factory team.
Oh, yeah. I like the sound of that.
Didn't
Aston Martin, I think Andretti's going to buy them because they're going to partner with Honda.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Andretti's already
Given
with
that the
Honda.
current program.
Yeah.
And WTR, Andretti is with Acura / Honda.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's going to happen. It just gives Cadillac an out. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
No.
That's just my take on it.
Which means more Cadillacs in the WEC.
Potentially.
I would like that.
That's why I think Audi's trying to get the GT3 car into whack. And they're basically saying we're committed to coming, whereas Mercedes is on the out because they won't commit to a hypercar program.
I gotcha.
They probably feel as if they don't need to, given their performance in F1.
They're the regime.
Right. They already have enough support in WEC or IMSA because they have GT3 support.
Whereas Honda, Acura is going on a new branding exercise with Honda.
Yeah.
So I could see, well, if you're already in, you're in, and Honda's going to just back Andretti with... Andretti's going to bring the cash. Honda's going to just say, we're with them because they're our technical partners both in IMSA and potentially with WEC as well as IndyCar.
Yeah.
So that gives them more cachet. That's that. Now, another thing that happened today... I don't know if this guy's got his resume into Andretti yet.
Oh, the
Mike
Mercedes
Elliott,
guy.
the Mercedes chief technical officer, gave his notice yesterday, so he's on gardening leave.
Is this the fall?
Huh?
Is this the fall of the empire?
No, it's weird. Like all of a sudden, so there's 2 teams that could be up for sale. Sauber, Aston Martin. Andretti wants to get in. They probably don't have a chief technical officer. Sauber doesn't have a chief technical officer. Sauber has who's over there? Who's running the show over there? The guy from Williams there that left Williams, the James Vowell. Whatever. He was tied with Mercedes, so he could be bringing him in as a start on the Toyota front. So I don't think Audi's ever going to see the day on the grid.
I don't think so.
They're more flaky. They're more flaky than Ford in terms of committing to racing programs.
I don't know. I mean, look at the Ford GT3.
Yeah, the Ford. Wait a minute. What are you talking about, Nate? Let's just suck the Ford GT program that went 3 years, and then it's like, oh, we'll pull the plug on it.
Yeah, but that was with Chip Ganassi. I mean, he just wanted his Le Mans win. And
Nate,
what?
It's not. Yeah, it wasn't Chip Ganassi wanted to win. It was Ford wanted to win, and Ford's like, okay, we'll commit to 3 years. They're flaky. They're flaky with racing. I'm surprised they haven't pulled out a NASCAR
What is Chip
yet.
like? What is Chip like?
It's not Chip. It's Ford.
He likes winners.
Nate, do you think Chip put any of his money into that program?
I don't know.
No, I'm going to tell you no. Okay, zero.
Okay. All right, we'll
zero
go
money.
With that. We'll go with
zero
that.
money, and I think he was pretty PO'd that Ford pulled the plug on it too, because he put a lot of resources into that program.
Like money?
No, like assets
time and
people, effort. And expansion.
Okay.
And that's part of the reason I think he sold the NASCAR team was, they kind of put him in a bind with that.
Right, and I mean, it was kind of like the right timing too for Justin Marks to get into NASCAR because he also wanted to get in because of how everything was changing with the new car, the next gen.
Hey.
sorry, just rabbit hole. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I don't. That had nothing. That had nothing to do.
No,
with Justin
I know.
That was like 3 years after the fact.
No, but it just so happened.
It's just that Audi is like flaky with when they want to go to the next level. It's like their whole thing is rallying in sports cars. Like, why did they ever get out of the World Endurance? I have no idea. I mean, people question the same thing with Porsche. Why did you guys leave? And they were like, and the reason is they have the same board.
Yeah.
The Volkswagen Group.
All Volkswagen Group.
Yeah. That group, that they don't know, they can't decide what end they're going to do. Mm-hmm. And like if you listen to interviews with old time Porsche guys that were there, like Norbert Singer, Alvin Springer, these guys, like they don't get what goes on with the board. They're like, these guys are just, to run a WEC program is much cheaper to run than a Formula One program.
Oh, yeah.
And you can make a case that you're running hybrid and all sorts of things. Where in Formula One, you're running the hybrid system, but, it's like the development cost.
How much does it contribute?
Yeah, how much does it really contribute, What's more relatable?
The other thing is, I feel like, teams like that you've seen just like dabble in WEC and stuff in the past couple of years, like you were saying, Sean, like, Audi, Toyota, Porsche. I mean, like they contribute for a couple of years, maybe 5 years tops. They win a couple of races, they gain, attention from people, and then they just say, all right, we did what we needed to do. We'll come back in another 10 years.
That's my fear with Cadillac right now. That's why, like, they're like, oh, we're all resources in on this, and it's like, pick one and just be in it, but I don't know. Anyways, that's that. That's all.
I mean, I hope that they get involved in Formula One. I think that they've already kind of set the attitude that they're going to, but like you said, I mean, they can definitely still take out of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Without that.
I mean,
and they definitely have a lot of reason to as well.
And Ford could get out of theirs too, because all theirs is a badging exercise. Mm-hmm. It's just, you write a check for 1 year and it's like, oh, sorry, we're out, but
at the same time, you do look at a couple things like that new rally car that Audi made last year that was raced by Carlos Sainz Sr.
Oh, yeah.
With that was basically a DTM engine that acted as a generator for a fully electric car. Where, there's talks that Formula One by 2026 is going to go to that kind of format where they're going to have an engine just powering a generator to power an electric vehicle. So, I don't know. I mean, that's like a rumor still, but that's kind of like you see it more and more as time goes on. But that's what's going to happen. So,
definitely be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Other than that,
did you cover the Fittipaldi's getting into IndyCar?
One of
Fittipaldi.
One of them, but Enzo might be coming too.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's
is it owner?
No,
no.
Not Emerson.
No.
Enzo. Pietro's brother.
Oh.
It might be two.
I was like,
might be two.
Two.
Yep.
Wait. Okay. So Pietro is in.
Pietro is the Haas development driver.
He's the Haas development driver, and he's going to Ray Hall Letterman.
Yes.
That's right. In the 30 car, replacing Jack Harvey.
Enzo is in the Red Bull Junior program. But he did a test for Dale Coyne.
Oh.
So he could be in as well.
I'm looking for Ilott to go to Foyt.
Well, Roman Grosjean, right? I think he's going over to Yonkos.
I think Roman
to fill in for.
I think Roman's just going to be driving Lamborghinis next year. I don't think he's going to be driving that there. You
think he's hit his peak?
Yeah, I think Ilott's going there, and the reason is
going to Foyt.
Because I think Penske's got an eye on him.
That's right, because Foyt has this alliance now with Penske.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So the question is whether it's Peterson or Santino is still there. So it's question is
you got to get rid of Peterson.
Who can write the bigger check?
I think Santino. He's definitely probably going to stay. I used to actually kart with him a little bit, but I think he has the talent there.
I haven't talked to his
number one fan.
Number one fan, yeah. I haven't talked to him yet
about this.
Yeah.
But you saw him.
I saw him, yeah, and we didn't discuss it.
No.
So.
His number one fan.
Yeah.
The only other thing I got is this. I thought this was exciting news. Mark Metischetz, Dietrich's son. He got a $615 million payout from Red Bull for a dividend this year.
Wow.
Nice.
He owns 49% of the company. So of the $1.6 billion profit that was paid out to shareholders, he got $615 million.
Wow. It's a nice payout.
Yep. Nice payout, and added to his net worth of $34.4 billion.
Just a small share.
Small share.
Yeah.
Anyways.
A nice side gig.
Puts him 35th on the Forbes list of real-time billionaires.
Is he behind Toto?
No. Let's take a look.
What list did he make?
He's on the billionaires list. He's a billionaire.
And
Toto.
If you want to be technical too, he's
go.
a Harvard professor too, Sean.
Yeah, and Nick DeVries goes to Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk is number one.
Shock.
I'm not shocked. Yeah.
Jeff Bezos, number 3. Larry Ellison, number 4.
Who's number 2?
Number 2 is the Bernard Arnault family.
Oh, that's
they
right.
own
That's right.
LVMH, which is like all the French perfumes.
Yeah.
Is there a tie to Rene Arnoux in that?
No.
Okay, all right.
No.
Had to ask.
I'm just scrolling down. Oh, Carlos Slim, backer of Sergio Perez, is number 13. Let's keep going. Keep going. I don't see anyone. Don't see anyone.
I mean, you see people, you just don't know.
I see people, but no one's popping up that has any more racing background other than that so far. Getting there.
This Alpine investor, Travis Kelce, his
God.
his new girlfriend just crossed the billion mark. Does that put her on the list now?
No. You got to be. These people are like in the 20s of billions, tens of billions.
All right.
Oh, here we go. Nate, here's one for you.
Let's hear it.
John Menard,
Oh, yes, Paul Menard's dad.
18 billion.
Oh, jeez. No wonder he's been sponsoring Indycars and NASCARs for years.
Yeah, look at that. Hold on. We're checking. This is like Formula One with Ferrari. We are checking.
Slowly.
We are checking.
Sean, do you have a favorite Taylor Swift song?
No, I hate Taylor Swift.
Well, you just got to shake it off sometimes, right?
And I hate the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's not
relate
so much.
there.
It's not so much Mahomes and Kelsey. I can't stand Andy Reid. Sorry, just my take.
I like Bill Belichick better. Hey, yeah,
No,
I agree.
no, don't. I'm not an Andy Reid fan.
What?
I'm not an
All
Andy
right,
Reid
hey,
fan.
all right. Well, I guess I didn't read that in the room.
Oh, here we go. Nate, here's a NASCAR thing.
Let's hear it.
Who sponsors Michael McDowell?
Loves.
Right. Judy Love and family. 10.2 billion.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
There you go. We're still checking.
How far down the list are you at this point?
I'm in the
like
hundreds.
Hundreds.
I was gonna say,
All right, so outside the top 100.
yeah, past number 69. Right.
Well past that, Nate. I'm trying to find out where. Jesus. Holy hell.
All right, well,
No, I was just trying to find out where RP ranks.
How come John Menard doesn't own a team then?
Why? He sponsored like every car that was in Indy Racing League.
can you do?
Well, I know, but like,
It doesn't have.
No. Can you do
it
control?
does. Hold on.
Control
No,
F.
no, hold on. RP, 3.6 billion. He's 781.
wow,
There you go.
Top 1,000.
All right, there you go.
there you have it.
It just says source cars.
That's good enough.
It's good enough.
Movie.
I didn't see Toto on the list, so.
So
Oh wait a minute. Should I put him on the list?
I was gonna say you could probably.
What's it?
Type him in.
How do you spell his? It's W-O.
Wolf
LFF.
with 2 F's.
W-O. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's always-
Sean, it's Wolf as in Susie Wolf.
Toto Wolff, 17. He's inside the top 1,800. He's at 1,799, 1.6 billion.
So bad.
He's source.
The top 1799 as well, Sean.
Sports. That's all it says. All right.
All right. Yeah.
All
Let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap it up. And on that note,
Good night.
Thank you guys for listening to the Red Mist Podcast, hosted by Christian Abbott, Sean Abbott, and Nathan Lavin. It's produced by Christian Abbott, and music is by Alex Wart and Harrison Tate.